1237, back with another review. And now we come to part three of 4 of the American Guinea Pig series. And as of right now, this is the last one I have. Part 4 is on the way, so I will do part 4 Song of Solomon when that comes in, probably within the next week. But this is from 2017 American Guinea Pig 3 Sacrifice. And like the other ones, put out by Unearthed Films. And this one is definitely different than the rest of them. You can definitely tell it has a different creative team. I believe this is the only guinea pig film, Japanese or American, to be filmed by a female. Poison Rouge is her name. I think she's an Italian model and a bodybuilder as well. This was her directorial debut. And like a number of other films I've seen recently where it's a directorial debut of a female director, I always go back to the French film Raw. This is pretty impressive as far as the cinematography, the look of the film, the direction. Definitely does not feel like a directorial debut, so she did a great job with that. But it was also written by story by Domiziano Delvo Cristofaro. This almost feels like a Italian guinea pig, but yeah, and it stars Roberto Scorza and Flora Giannatasio, if I pronounce that correctly. And it also has a different special effects team. Athanasius Pernath did the special effects, and visual effects by Alessandro Alto. Domiziano Delvo Cristofaro also did the cinematography, as well as the story. Screenplay was by Samuel Marola, actually. And being a different creative team from the first two, this definitely has a different flavor to it. This one almost feels borderline art house. It does have some scenes and some sequences where it gets very, visually art housey. Now, this is the shortest so far of the American ones, running at 63 minutes. Which I find it kind of odd that the one with the shortest running time, just over an hour, a limited cast of 2 actors, one of which is only in a couple scenes, so mainly one actor, one location, a bathroom, save for a couple of dream sequences of a beach. Everything limited so much, yet it seems to have the most to say, or the most going on. The overall story of which I do like. It kind of, at first, sorry I'm wiping my nose so much, it won't stop running. When I first heard the absolute core premise, it kind of reminded me of the third film in the Japanese series, He Never Dies, about a guy who just keeps trying to kill himself, but it won't work until eventually he's just ahead. This is about a guy that, after the death of his father, goes back to his childhood home, locks himself in his bathroom, and begins a series of self-mutilation. Now, that's all I knew about. There are some deeper themes, like him trying to become one with this goddess of Ishtar, and it's more so this ritualistic ceremony to, birth her on Earth. And probably some themes that I might be a little too tired to grasp or think that they kind of nailed properly. But overall, the overall aspect of just a guy in a bathroom torturing himself, good enough. The whole thing with, trying to appease this goddess, that I could take or leave. It does have some things that it touches upon, but doesn't really follow through with. Like, it does hint towards a troubled and or abusive relationship with his father. maybe his father was in on this worship of this goddess as well. Has very little teases of that at the very beginning, which maybe if it delved into that, it could create more sympathetic layers for this character, which the actor did do a good job. I mean, he definitely acts like he's in pain during these scenes. Though I will say, he reacted more to the toenail than he did the penis mutilation, which, yes, that is in here as well. Which, there is a special feature behind the scenes of the weenie, which I did not watch, but I heard, and I could be wrong, but I heard that either the actor or the stand-in or someone actually had a Prince Albert piercing. So when they take their screwdriver, in the film it's a Phillip head, this is a flathead, sticks it down in and then just starts, doing all that. Apparently, this guy with his piercing, he was able to actually do that. So it's all real that we see. Of course, the blood and everything is fake, but I will say this is even less of a gore effects film than Bloodshock. So it's definitely less of one than the first film. This one is definitely more story driven. It definitely has more themes, or I don't necessarily want to say allegories, but definitely themes and meanings and a lot more going on than I would actually say is appropriate for a guinea pig film. I mean, people have criticized the previous films for not having a story. It's okay if you want to have a story. I mean, I liked it enough in this, as bare bones as it was. But to me, I always thought the title, Guinea Pig, was kind of just shut your brain off and just admire some crazy graphic gore effects. But it did add something different. And I would say this worked more than some of the more story-driven ones of the Japanese series. Notably, Android of Notre Dame. I mean, I always hated that film. I do like the mermaid one, though. Even so, it's more like in the torture. It doesn't ever go super big, pre-weedy. I mean, he'll cut himself with like an X-Acto knife, or he'll take a drill into his thigh, then drill into his forehead, and then he'll take a screwdriver to his forehead. He seems to have this inner monologue, which I was kind of getting confused. Like, I don't know if there's this other voice telling him to do it for this goddess, or if he's just referring to himself in the third person. Like, he picks up his drill and he's like, "Oh, I know what to do." Yeah, he's got like a harsh, a British accent. "I'm gonna drill into this asshole's leg." Like, and he does see the goddess in his a reflection in the mirror. He does have some candles lit. There are some implements that he brings that we don't ever see, like these cool like iron hooks, and he's got like a whole display of some crude instruments. Yet we just see the drill and the screwdriver. He does have a flathead, a short one that he uses on his forehead. But the cinematography and everything is well done, especially these beach scenes, especially the underwater ones. They look great. There's this awesome transition of when he's just walking until he's completely submerged, and it shows his face, and when he comes up, he's in the bathtub. I thought that was a great transition. I really like the contrast of the very blue tile of the bathroom mixed with just all the red of his blood and everything that's all over him. I think it's a contrast that looks great on screen. But it's also just a very good looking film. I mean, I imagine the budget was just as small as the other ones, and it definitely has a sharper, stronger, more uh, artsy look to it. Like I would say this looks more like an A24 film than those. Uh, but yeah, definitely different. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Uh, it does go into the supernatural, I think, towards the end, where he does patch himself up with duct tape and zip ties, and whenever after each mutilation, he'll take a picture of it. I don't know if he posts it, but there is this kind of edgelordy kind of talk, like, "Oh, this is gonna be a great story. I bet I'll get 8 million likes off this." That probably sounded more Australian, but so yeah, he keeps taking pictures of everything he does to himself. But then once he finally castrates himself because he sticks the screwdriver in, then he has to completely cut it off. And I think he's getting woozy from the blood loss, so he has to put a zip tie around it. Then he takes a bigger knife. He's able to cut it off. Which before that, after he sticks it in and does some of this, he just starts vomiting, I'm guessing from shock. Then he cuts it off. He gets in the bathtub. And he has more of these beach visions, which again, the beach scenes are filmed beautifully. And then I guess he has like the worst case of post-nut clarity ever, because he just starts saying like, "What have I done? What have like? There's no turning back for me." And he just takes that huge ass kitchen knife, stabs himself in the stomach, and then it shows him, trying to dig in. He pulls out his stomach, which is probably the goriest scene of the entire movie. Again, it's not really an effects film like the first one or even the second one, but everything they do show is still very well done. I mean, all the way down to just the skin sort of jutting out from the drill wound. Like, all the practical effects still look great. Pulls out his stomach. He seems to, as soon as he goes in, slips down below the water. We get the shot from behind the tub, show that he's gone. It's just bloody water. And then a shot from the side of the tub, and the goddess pops out. And she talks about how she's been birthed. It does have some graphic kind of dialogue about, this is the bloody semen I've been birthed from. She takes a picture of herself. And then we get a scene sometime later where he's all gray and blue and dead in the bathtub with maggots all over him. And some voiceover about, like, "Why did you tell me about the endless nothingness that waits for all of us?" And then it just ends. The blue and just the color, the look of the decomposition with the maggots looked awesome as well. And then it ends with just that shot of the beach with this text saying, this is based on some texts and a poem about, like, a Mesopotamian, or I can't remember exactly where it originated, but the goddess of Ishtar, who, is like the goddess of love and desire or something, and is able to drive men to castrate themselves, become eunuchs. She was believed to turn men into women that way. But I feel like it has a lot that is trying to say, and that there's a lot more that it wants to say, but I do think that its runtime kind of jeopardizes that. This is one that should have been full length. This is one we could have, actually both of these, we could have trimmed down to an hour's worth, because, they're torture films. This one's trying to have some deep philosophical messages and themes and meanings. along with just some other things it's trying to say about this person, maybe religion, his past, what he's going through. And it really doesn't delve that much into it at all, which normally I would say if your story isn't well executed, then the gore effects better be amazing, which they still are, but especially compared to the first two, it feels like the gore and the effects are taking a back seat, and it's really the story or the symbolism. It's still not a bad film, and again, it is shot beautifully. It's acted very well. Definitely has a different flavor for the first two. Uh, from what I understand, the Song of Solomon is even more further out there, more about the story. I think even less gory than this one. So I would definitely have to say, as far as the American series goes, this is the least guinea pig feeling. It is my least favorite so far. I mean, I'd probably still have to say this one is my favorite because the atmosphere and I love the atmosphere, the score, and everything like that. Though I really love the authentic, you know, trying to the illusion of an authentic snuff film of this one. They all have their merits. This one is just very well made and well acted. Just sadly, its themes aren't fully realized or executed. So that's all I really have to say about Sacrifice. And like I said, Part 4, Song of Solomon, is on order. So that should be here within the week. I have two other films here. I guess they're extreme or would fall under that category to get to. One that's not extreme, but one I've been wanting to see for quite a while that just got a release. And then two others on order. Then I'm going to order three more, and I have two more coming in the mail, all under the extreme category or umbrella. Two of which I've been wanting to see for over a decade, and one is Japanese. So, I wasn't going to say what they were just yet. I was going to wait till they came in and do like a extreme update video. But I also have probably 8 or 9 other ones I haven't got to that I could. So I got plenty to work with. But so far, that's the American Guinea Pig series, at least until Part 4 comes in. So yeah, I might have to say this one is my least favorite so far. But that's not to say it's bad. So that's that, and stay tuned for more extreme horror films, and thank you for watching.